Okay, with this book, I wanted to try to cover the 20 years that I had been writing about Harry Bosch, and so I went back to the first year and I went in there thinking, what can I find in here that's worth taking across 2 decades? And it was pretty obvious when you go back to 1992 and we had the riots in Los Angeles. So that became the obvious point that I would draw a story from. And it is significant to me because I was still a journalist, and that probably still remains the most interesting and the biggest story that I ever worked on as a journalist. And so I was able to put some of my own viewpoints and even a few of my own memories into the story. And so that's really how it all started. I mean, it's always lucky if you can go back to a point 20 years ago and examine it now, especially something like that, because it's such an important part in Los Angeles history. And then you could talk about have we gotten better, our racial relationships better, worse, where are we going? I thought, it would give the book a better or bigger significance than a mere mystery story. I've been very lucky. I've been able to write about this guy over 20 years, and everyone says, how has he changed? And I would say, everybody changes as they grow older. He's evolved. I mean, I think there's some really obvious changes to him. In the early books, he was very black and white. He was very settled in what was right and what was wrong, and there's not a lot of gray area. And I think that gray area has crept in over the 20 years, and I would say Harry actually dwells in the gray area now. Probably one of the most important is he became a father, and when you become a parent, obviously that changes your view of the world, and it adds concepts of hope and ideas about leaving a better place for your children, and that has to infect Harry Bosch. In my books, I try to, especially the Harry Bosch books, every 5-6 years make a turn. I think it's the best way to keep a series going strong is not to keep relying on what works. After this book, Harry Bosch is heading towards a big turn, and I think that will give the books and his career and my career all a new excitement that will hopefully last 5-6 years, and then I got to find another turn. It's about zigzagging, and I think that keeps the character interesting and me interested in writing about the character. I have to think, would I ever kill Harry Bosch in one of my books? I'm not so sure. I mean, everybody dies. Harry Bosch will certainly die someday. But I also think of Harry being on this journey through a tunnel towards light, and I don't want to mess around with that. I think I would be cruel almost to have put him through all these tortures and all these books to have the ending be a bullet or something like that. So I'm hoping, I don't plan too far ahead, but I'm hoping the end is Harry, fishing somewhere, maybe with a grandchild. That to me would be the ending that I hope I'm heading towards and that I think he deserves.